So we've been talking about pizza a lot. So I'm really fucking hungry. And I've just eaten. But that's everything I'm saying today. It's over to Pixel. It's yours now. Haha, suck it.
Wait. Happy birthday, Nick.
Shit. Happy birthday, Nick.
I thought I'd gotten away with it.
Happy
I really did.
Instantly, do you know what the other nice source of bread is?
Bread sauce?
Crumpet.
Oh.
People watching this have no idea the context for why we're talking about bread.
It's fine. It's fine. You don't need context. It's Halloween. It's spooky time. Yeah. Everyone is terrified or ready to bang a ghost. There is no middle ground. Well, actually, some people might be terrified and still ready to bang a ghost. There's probably middle ground now I think about it.
Excuse me, but I'm asexual and not scared at all.
Not scared yet.
I'm more excited than scared. Sorry, Pixel.
This is already going fantastically.
The chat are chiming in on as to who's here, who's scared, and who's ready to bang a ghost. So I think it's going great.
If you'll all permit me to set a non-bread based mood. A summons delivered, the Tricons leave town, with promises to bring the Null Zone down. Joined by an elf with unfortunate history, the children discover a startling mystery. The dangers they face will be ones formed by thought, as this year they find out what science hath wrought. There's no better time to learn the fears of delight, as the blood-coloured glow fills the crimson stain night.
Oh, I'm Harrod.
Yes, it is the Crimson Stain, the 33rd of Feast, which every 33rd of Feast, as the sun goes down and sets below the horizon, the moon begins to turn a blood red, shedding a crimson glow over Aetos. And on this night, it is a custom to dress up in scary costumes and knock around on doors so that you might ask people for pastries. So, in a way, still kind of connected to bread, but this happened at least a year before the conversation that started this episode.
I really want a pizza now.
Well, you can tell me what you're dressed as, this Crimson Stain. As
that
you,
involves remembering what I'm dressed. Oh no, I remember. No, I remember. I've got it. the brain self-fired for a second. I'm dressed as a beholder, the big orb with the little orbs.
And Fee is also dressed.
Yep. Fee is dressed as the most terrifying thing they know. A corrupt authority figure. That is to say, a dun witch.
Wow. Wow.
Iris, I asked you if it was okay.
Wow. I see how it is.
And Felix is dressed in a white robe where the stains are very noticeable from all of the food that he does not care to prestidigitate off.
Honestly, Felix is dressed is already an upgrade. Like, normally he's just in underwear and slippers.
Yeah, you're actually feeling pretty confident about Tricon Tower as a go-to place this Crimson Stain. You have put a lot of work, along with the help of George Glacier, into baking up some wonderful strawberry pastries that Felix will be handing out for the night while you're out and about knocking on doors.
George is the best baker I know.
George isn't here, but he appreciates the sentiment.
He looks
Inoltrare just
dejected.
says that repeatedly. Inoltrare keeps saying this entirely oblivious to, to how Fifi feels about it. How Fifi's about it.
Wait, so George Glacier has been to the Tricon's Tower?
No. The Tricon's Tower is connected to the sewer, and the sewer is where Fee lives. Korakii has weird architecture, especially concerning its sewer. That might be because of Mildred Glacier.
I mean, this was established in the very first session, to be fair.
It was.
Budget overreach. They just kept expanding the sewer budget to the extent of all else.
Well, logically what happened was, logically, when the Wizard's Tower was built, what happened was, the Wizard just wanted an easy way to dispose of their experiments.
I mean, ideally, every house would be connected to the sewer.
Yeah, sure. Modern day
Probably
magic
is.
times.
The sewer is our explanation for the perk that lets you travel around a city in half the time, so... Maybe.
Which I still have, and I don't know if anyone else does.
Yeah, no, so... is there anything you want to say to Felix before you leave?
No.
All right,
Yeah.
you leave Tricon Tower, and Inoltrare, make me an Intelligana check.
Okay. Is it about any of my specialties regarding constructs, the planes, elementals, or I've written elementals twice? What was I doing?
Detecting magic.
That's it. Detection. Why did I just type it twice when I was making this character sheet? Is it detecting magic, did you say?
Yes.
Okay, that is one of my expertises. Woo, let's go. Okay. Oh, it's not good. Wow, okay. So 6 plus my intelligence, which is 4, is a 10, plus 1 for the expertise. 11 plus 3 for proficiency is 14.
I mean, that'll do it. You're not 5 steps away from the door before you hear the arcane lock spell being cast. Pretty sure the pastries that you've put so much work into are probably not going to be distributed to anybody but Felix tonight.
The pastries! Am I alone at this point?
Fee is with you. Fee has also stepped out of Tricon Tower. You met up earlier.
Fee, the pastries!
Well, just before we step out, can Fee turn to Felix and say, Felix, I trust unto you the pastries brought by my father. See that they're properly distributed.
That's exactly what you
just
said, and
fixes
that's exactly
him for
what you
glare.
said preceding him closing the door and arcane locking it, and now you can't get back in.
I mean, you can break an arcane lock. I can't. I haven't got knock, annoyingly.
Fortunately, my mother made this door. It is unstoppable.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about that.
You don't have too much time to linger on this, though, because you've just noticed that your hat at a certain angle is a little bit too big and can fall down over your eyes. You notice this because you felt something jump onto your back and push your hat down over your eyes.
This hat feels a bit too large. Also, something has dislodged it.
Can I just step behind and see what is very clearly the mushroom?
Yeah.
I'm not going to say anything. I'm just like, oh, wave.
The mushroom jumps and lands in front of Fee, landing in a heroic pose.
Once again, the cop undoes my attempts to impersonate the cop.
Fee, when you pull your hat up, you see that it is Capulet, but Capulet looks different. Instead of the creamy color of her skin, it has been replaced with a more reddish-brownish type of color. Still a bit creamy around the stomach, and you notice that on her cap, she has two very crude kind of papery ears connected, and pinned onto the back of her sash is kind of a fuzzy facsimile of a tail.
Cop, you're wearing a costume.
Of course, I'm blending in.
No, you seem pretty obvious there.
Just for clarification, what is this costume supposed to be?
It's a squirrel. The most fearsome creature Capulet yet knows.
I love how on continuity these sessions are.
Oh yeah, no, it's horrible. We'll address it at some point.
We're just going to wave our hands a little and say, yeah.
HisCursedness Dungeon Master policy. Don't think about it too much.
Yeah. Isn't it funny that A is a cop?
Do you really think I'd let you walk around unsupervised on this night of all nights?
Who are you? Both my parents?
They're not unsupervised. I'm here.
Unsupervised by someone who isn't one of her lackeys.
Wait, hang on. When? Oh, okay, no.
Oh, they're lackeys.
No, that makes sense.
Then Capulet reaches out and grabs your hand, Fee. And it's like, my organization told me to not let you escape. They told me the best way to do this was to make sure that I stay holding your hand so you can't run off.
Fee attempts to lift Capulet up.
You do it pretty easily, even at -4 strength.
Yeah. Fee doesn't even break their stride.
I mean, Capulet isn't perturbed because Capulet still has a hold of you.
Oh yeah, Inoltrare is going to cast Mage Armor. He doesn't leave the house without it on. He's a little scared of going. Yeah, he's too nervous for people not to have Mage Armor on going outside the house. So yeah, he's
Capulet's just always got Mage Armor on. You need to stop hanging out with friends who always have Mage Armor. You look so lame in comparison. Speaking of lame things coming into the scene.
Hey.
Ow.
You notice that...
The Irish roast session?
Well, I was going to say you notice that coming down the street is an owlin.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
I genuinely thought you just decided that this is the time to just roast every character Iris has ever made.
No, you're just that self-deprecating.
Hey, would we know who this owlin is by this point?
Inoltrare
you would,
does.
because there was a big hubbub when this owlin returned to town with Ao Dunwich.
Fee narrows their eyes. One, because obviously this owlin hangs about with Ao and Grounded. And two, because they're secretly quite terrified of birds.
Careful, Fee. This one's not very nice.
Gargoyle hears you. He moves his head around with maybe the appearance of a neck breaking, who knows, to look at you.
Oh no, I've just realized. Oh no. Oh
What?
no, I'm dressed like a beholder.
Yeah, suddenly you see the almighty wand of creation just get swept and point at you.
I
Before
jumped
Gargoyle.
behind Fee.
Yeah, Gargoyle sees that and reassesses the situation and is able to overcome his trauma in a matter of seconds.
Gargoyle was scared, but was scared by a paper mache orb.
Bird Cob, explain yourself.
Oh, sorry. It's just, I have a history with beholders.
You look familiar, and Gargoyle's kind of looking over Fee's shoulder towards Inoltrare.
Yeah, I'm dressed like
I
a
am-
beholder. I met one you see on a boat, so I figured I'd go as them. It?
No, I've seen you somewhere before.
Yeah, you were rude
I'm
to
dressed
me.
as your cop boss. Boss Cob.
In the
I mean-
courtroom, you were rude.
Oh, you're Inoltrare of Korakii.
Well, yeah, where do you expect me to be? This is Korakii.
Well, I've been too busy to sightsee. Speaking of, I probably should get going. I've got a flight to catch.
Inoltrare, by the way, is saying this all from behind Fee's back. Like peeking out sideways, just like, ah.
He's doing their best to look imposing to protect their friend.
Gargoyle points with the staff to a large... Well, it looks kind of like a balloon, but not really. And he says,
You see that?
It looks like a balloon,
Yeah.
but not really.
Well, it's a flying machine. I actually got a letter earlier telling me that there's an artificer in a town just a ways from here that might be able to help with the null zone problem.
Okay.
Oh, hey, you know, I wasn't the kindest to you when we were at the trial. Sorry about that. I was trying to get AO arrested for reasons.
Fee is immediately changing. Yeah.
Yeah. He immediately starts applauding.
How about I make it up to you? Do you want to go in the machine?
Is it scary?
I don't know. I've never ridden in one before.
Can Fee come with me?
Sure.
Okay, then.
Does your friend usually carry around a large mushroom?
It's been happening more lately than usual.
Oh. Cop. This is Bird Cop, who may not be a cop.
Capulet is just looking at you.
Okay, well, let's get going, I guess.
Okay.
And then you are stopped immediately as you see a man running towards your group with a girl in tow. And he stops about halfway there to take in a huff of air before resuming running.
I ready in action to cast.
Wait. Did you say you were going out of town?
Yeah, I've got a summons to a place just a bit a ways from Korakii.
That actually works fantastically because well, I'm a mason here, and I really wanted to spend the Crimson Stain with my daughter, but the houses, they need to be built. I have not been afforded much free time, and the free time that I have been afforded for today, I'm getting called back in. And this man looks down towards an elf girl. Could you describe Utri for us, Iris?
Yes, before you stands an elf girl, probably in her mid-teens. She stands a little bit above the rest of you, around like 5-ish feet.
I mean, one of us is 2 feet tall and one of us is a dwarven child, so yeah.
He's having an existential crisis, no longer being the tallest in the group.
Yeah, she has a very light gray skin with a very dark steel gray hair that's parted to one side, and like the side that's exposed is shaved. She's wearing what seems to be a mix of very nice metal armor and very fancy cardboard in the shape of armor. And this is somebody that at least 2 of you would recognize. Although you have not seen her in a few months, you do recognize the town's local bully, Utri.
Hey
there, short one.
Pale.
Hey there, short one. It's been a while, ain't it?
Utri, make me a Constitution saving throw.
Okay.
Is it too early for lightning bolt?
Would Fee have actually met her much, living in the sewer and all?
Depends on how much time you spent out on the surface.
I might have thought Fee would only really go out on the surface if they were hanging about with Morgan and Inoltrare.
Well, Inoltrare's probably told you some stories.
She's
13.
awful, Fee.
Okay, 15. You were able to hold on to your lunch as this overwhelming stench of cheese, of the sewers, of rotting flesh, of feces, all hits you at once.
He's gargoyled the feces.
You're not sure how this owlin isn't hurling, but woof, it's a strong scent.
Oh yeah, Gargoyle hasn't got a sense of smell.
This is the Metaphor's greatest benefit this session.
Forgot about that.
I mean, I could understand some of the spells. Where would the smell of sewer come from?
Probably the person who lives in the sewer.
Except we have established that that part of the sewer does not smell.
I have to travel through the other part of the sewer to get here.
Yeah, it's like a miasma that Fee's probably quite used to, so they don't always catch it.
All of these kids are used to awful smells, but you have just happened upon just some of the most terrible ones collected.
Oh wow. You all have a certainly unique scent about you.
Oh, don't worry, I can fix that. I cast Prestidigitation, and I sent Utri to smell like shit. Now you're like us.
Now listen here, you look.
I hide immediately behind Fee.
Fee tilts her head. Fee tilts her head and looks her down.
No,
I don't believe we've met, but I've heard stories.
I'm not sure we've met either. And I've met most of the kids in this area. Well, regardless, you all are lucky to have me, as I'm here to make sure you are safe this Crimson Stain.
From behind Fee, you can now see there are 3 in Inoltrare. He's reflexively cast mirror image, just in case there's a beating coming in.
You mean you're going to stay away from my friend?
No, I'm here to protect you. I can't do that staying away.
Oh, I see. Protection racket.
What? Oh, Capula. I forgot you were there for a second. I got distracted by the bird. Sorry.
So you accept we're victims in all of this, Corp?
No, you're just pathetic.
Wow.
Damn.
But first things first, short one. I'm looking at Inoltrare when I say this. Fix what you just did.
I do feel intimidated, so I will undo the prestidigitation.
Fee holds out Capulet. Well, if you'd like to protect us, would you like to hold the corp?
Capulet's arm transforms into an axe.
My God.
I'm going to cast message and send a message to Fee and say, I don't know if we're going to survive tonight, Fee.
What Utri does in response is Utri grabs Capulet by the scruff of her neck and just like holds her out like as far arm's length, so Capulet can't reach her.
Just dangling on the side.
He whispers to Inoltrare, okay, let's stitch the both of them on 3.
You run off at super speed, and Inoltrare is just left there like, and just sidles off.
So you nerds ready to go get some pastries tonight?
Don't look at me while I'm trying to run away. Just still slowly sidling out.
Fee just immediately spins around and runs back. Did you say pastries?
I mean, it is the Crimson Stain.
Yes. Guess food would be nice. I haven't eaten for like an hour.
Utri's father and Gargoyle have been conversing whilst you've all been interacting, but Utri's father then looks to Utri and puts his hands on her shoulders, just like, so you're going to be okay?
Don't worry, I should be fine. I can take care of myself and these lot.
All right. I'm really sorry that I had to go back into work, but state of things.
Yeah, I know.
All right. You have a good night. And then he starts running in the opposite direction, and then again pauses to take a few breaths in, and then resumes running.
What a strange man.
Question, by the way, would Fee's mum know him if he's a mason?
It's possible. But yeah, Gargoyle looks to you all and is like,
Okay, so is that everybody, or does anyone else just want to volunteer themselves? Okay, we're moving out.
and you all head to the giant flying machine in the city.
Wow, that flying machine's huge.
Okay, it's not that giant. Think a blimp, because it is a blimp. But
That's pretty big.
the word blimp doesn't exist yet.
It is indeed rather large.
And at the ramp kind of going up to the blimp's seating compartment, you see a man with black hair, very neatly styled. He is wearing a very businessman type suit. And it's just like, Gargoyle. Thank you for responding quite promptly to my summons. I understand we might be able to help you out with this sordid mess that you've got going on here.
I was like, yeah, I was surprised to be contacted. I didn't know that you knew I was in the city.
It's like, oh, word gets around, and, well, when you find news of another artificer, fastest way to make a friend, and some useful connections, of course. Oh, and who have you brought with you? The man walks up to all of you and first looks at Inoltrare. And he looks kind of at the costume, but then more towards your face. It's like,
I squeeze the moon-tainted veilstone. Out of fear. So I'm still perfectly visible, but I can't see him.
Very interesting. Two differently colored eyes. Heterochromia, I believe. Fascinating. And you, and he turns to Fee and pulls a device out of his pocket and kind of scans you up and down. Interesting. This says that you're Fae, but seemingly only on a surface level. Never encountered that before.
I'm many things in the shadows.
I don't doubt it. Oh, and what's this you're holding? A mycelium. Exceedingly rare, you know.
Cops, a dime a dozen.
I wonder, is this the burrowing type or the adaptation type? And you! And he turns to Utri and looks her up and down. Welcome! Gargoyle, are you bringing these children along? And
yeah, if that's not going to be a problem.
Oh, no. They love Tinscrap. It's a perfectly friendly town. Why don't we all get on board and we can set out there? And he motions you inside, and inside the blimp you see quite lavish furnishings. Seats made of leather, nice tables. It's essentially kind of like a lounge room, but that is going to be taking off into the sky imminently.
You get a telepathic message saying, hey, what's happening? I can't see anyone.
This person has a brand new machine. It's got leather seats, and it somehow resembles a large cat.
I hope it has a music player. And Inoltrare unsqueezes the moon-tainted veilstone and can finally see and hear everyone again.
Alright, so you step into the dirigible. The door closes, and you all sit down. Before, after a few minutes, you feel the entire thing start to kind of shake as the engines begin to fasten up, and you begin to float into the sky.
I can't believe it. This thing actually flies.
Oh, yes, of course it does. It's my own design, don't you know? I don't skim on the details, and I always make fine works of quality.
Can I inspect the machinery?
You can. Give me an engineering check.
I will not. I thought it might be magical.
This thing looks like a machine.
Well, it might be a magical construct, and I have expertise in that. It's just non-magical constructs I don't.
Yeah, well, there is magical engineering.
Oh, can I inspect that with my Arcana Constructs specialty?
Oh, go on.
It's literally what I went to school for, apparently, according to the way A5e works. So I get a D6 specialty on it. Oh, I'm rolling terribly. 16?
Yeah, I mean, you suspect that there is magic somewhere along the line in the...
20, sorry. I forgot to add intelligence.
Okay, well, you definitely suspect that there is magic involved somewhere in the design. But you also notice that there is a big tank by two very large, what are thrusters, but you wouldn't know what those are yet. And you're wondering what those are for.
Big tank is strange.
Oh, it's for the fuel, my lad. Yes, this thing is quite fast in the air, but of course it comes at a price, as most things do. Now, it should be able to get us over to Tinscrap and have enough to get you back, but very, very expensive to produce. So I'm really hoping... Oh, go on.
If it's so expensive, why not just use magic?
Well, you never know. You might need alternative methods of transport. What if you're in a zone of anti-magic?
Question, can a fee use their exploration knack, read the room?
Right, what does Fee's exploration knack read the room?
Okay. By spending 10 minutes observing facial expressions, body language, and vocal intonation, you can detect minute details which give you insight into the creatures within 30 feet of you. For the next minute, you can direct your focus on any one creature that you can see within 30 feet. If the creature you choose has an intelligence of 3 or lower, doesn't speak any language, the creature is unaffected. You learn the surface thoughts of the creature, what is most on its mind in that moment. As an action, you can shift your attention to another creature's thoughts.
Sure. What do you do? What do you want to know?
Okay. So I'm gonna start with Gargoyle. Just gonna get a read on Gargoyle and see what he's thinking.
Gargoyle seems to be very excited to see all of this machinery that he's never seen before, and you don't have to look too hard because he seems to be bobbing up and down happily.
Yep.
Well, we can't allow that.
We can't allow Gargoyle to be happy.
No.
I can't believe Pixel is DMing an entire session just so Gargoyle can be happy.
I'm taking the reins. Gargoyle's surface level thoughts seem to be along the lines of, I hope this solution for the null zone works out, and I hope that I can get these kids back to their parents.
Mission failed for Inoltrare.
Got him next time.
Oh my god! Wow. Actually, Inoltrare does have parents.
Utri was the bully.
Inoltrare does have parents. He just doesn't know where they are.
Oh, yeah, that's fair, actually.
He was abandoned.
Next, V is going to shift their attention to the to our new elven friend, question mark.
Okay, well, Uchi's going to have to answer these ones.
Uchi's surface thoughts are that very much of anxiety. She is actually fairly anxious to be around Inoltrare specifically, someone that she bullied in the past.
Interesting. On this subject, can I use fashion sense on Utri?
Sure. Utri looks like she comes from, gosh, maybe a family in the mason industry. Stone masons.
Sounds reasonable, yeah. I'm actually not learning much on this. I don't know why I chose it, because the options are culture and national origin, and it's like same as you.
You do notice that the armor that she's wearing is underneath the fake cardboard armor designed to look kind of like a red dragon is actually real armor. And not only is it real armor, but it has kind of a black gemstone kind of around the chest area. If you want to make an Arcana check to identify that.
Sure. Is it related to constructs, the planes, elementals, or the detection of magic?
The detection of magic, I suppose.
Oh, probably.
Okay, extra D4. So 15 plus
while this is happening,
18.
these just going to
20.
Sorry. You notice that this armor not only is fancy and expensive, but also is magical. And this is a type that you've seen fashioned specifically to resist a certain type of damage.
There's one other bit of information I need to be told, but I feel like I know the answer. Given I know Utri's class, does she have a lower charisma score than I do? Which is 8.
No.
So I doubt it, yeah.
No. Bit lower than you might think, but not lower than yours for sure.
You would actually know one other thing from the armor, that it is of traditional elven make. Like, it is a very traditional elven armor.
Well, as a dwarf, we all know how I feel about that. I think it's pretty cool.
And everything else about Uchi's fashion just reminds you of all those times that Uchi absolutely bullied you.
Fee's going to sidle up to Utri and say in a very low voice, "So, feeling remorseful about something?"
What? No, I have no idea what you're talking about, kid. I'm here
Note for readers, Utri is feeling remorseful about something all the time.
Literally all the time. I'm here exclusively to watch over you nerds. Nothing more. Gotta stay safe.
Sorry, carry on.
Sorry. You gotta stay safe on this night. It's a very dangerous night.
Nothing's ever gone wrong on this night. Inoltrare then remembers the last time. Never mind.
You've done a little more than watch over my friend, from what he tells me.
Yeah, what are some examples of the interactions that Utri has had with Inoltrare?
Well, we know there are sewers, therefore there probably are toilets, and therefore we know someone's head has gone down a toilet at some point.
I would say another thing Utri has done is at one point Inoltrare on like a particularly high ledge that Inoltrare was too nervous to try to get down at the time.
That's why he's gone into airlift since then, so that he can never be scared of heights again. Yeah, I like that, yeah.
Your bullying is only making him stronger.
You simply put me on a pedestal. Literally.
Let's see here. What would be another good thing Utri has done to Inoltrare in the past?
Stolen my clothes while I've been cleaning. Just before I learned prestidigitation.
And then you never got them back, just had to make new clothes.
Yeah. Yeah. I was left with clothes. Admittedly baby clothes, but I was left with clothes, and now nothing.
That's also a good one.
You use fashion sense in yourself and remember pain.
Yeah.
Oh, I think I have a good one that Utri did once. Utri has probably, particularly when Inoltrare was around guards or something, thrown a rock near Inoltrare so it breaks something like a window, and just like booked it.
Oh my god, Penelope Finch's house.
Ah, yes, to destroy and dash.
Inoltrare was certain that he'd broken that window through his smartness, but no.
It was Tilly who broke the window.
There are any pops about Ben.
Yeah, right. What was Fee saying? Sorry.
Okay, Fee's going to basically sort of do their best to power over Utri, even though that's physically impossible at the moment. And then they're just going to realise they're not wearing their cape of billowing because of the costume. Wait, actually, remind me, does Ao wear a cape?
No, Ao does not wear a cape.
Yep, then they're not wearing a cape.
Should have got a trench coat of billowing.
And they're also going to shift their analysis to the our aviator friend.
Not the aviator. The blimp seems to be flying itself. But the person talking to Gargoyle is very anxious to get back to Tinscrap.
He's going to turn to Utri and say, "Our friend here seems on edge, same as you."
First of all, I don't know what you're talking about. Second of all, I suppose he does seem a bit on edge, but why would he be? Like, from what I can tell, he wants to be here. Like, he went out of his way to search for the Birdman.
You also will remember, I'll tell you for free, that you are currently on a blimp that is headed to Tinscrap.
While we're on the blimp, I'd like to cast Detect Magic as a...
Sure.
He feels so broke up, he wants to go home.
There seems to be evocation magic that is kind of flowing through some pipes that you can see. You can't see much coming from the room that you're in, particularly. But it sounds like it's been around 40 minutes, and it's not too much of a slow flight out with the thrusters. They're able to get you to Tinscrap quite fast, and you land on a platform made specifically for the blimp. The door opens, and this artificer invites you to disboard.
Would that trip have been long enough to count for a short rest?
Yeah.
Sweet. I'm going to get my spell slots back.
The ones that you used.
I've used 2 spell slots already, so...
Wait, 2?
When Inoltrare gets scared, he casts magic.
Mage Armor and Mirror Image.
Oh, Mage Armor. Oh, yeah, Mage Armor is the first level spell for you.
Yeah, but I can get some spell slots back on a short rest, so it's fine.
Non-warlocks. As you step off of the dirigible, you see before you a town with a wall not dissimilar to Korakii's in the distance. You notice that the ground is all kind of cobbled stone with some smooth pathways. But most particularly, the houses seem to be made entirely of steel.
Well, that's odd, isn't it?
Seems like a waste of good metal. Stone would have done the job just as well.
You'd think they'd make it out of tin too, wouldn't you?
Oh, no.
Same way, it would be unhygienic.
Oh, no. I beg to differ. You see, stone requires wooden structural supports, and in cases of an attack or of some other phenomena that involves fire, a stone house is likely to burn down. But with steel, well, it conducts heat rather well, so I suppose the citizens inside the houses won't be much better for wear, but the house will remain standing.
The 2 children of masons and the dwarf are about to square up about this. Like, how dare you insult stone?
He just looks so indignant right now.
Just precaution, of course, although it does give Tinscrap a nice, unique allure, don't you think?
Do you catch fire a lot?
Oh, well, not from external phenomena, though with an artificer making so much for the city, sometimes fire happens. Nobody's been hurt, if that's what you're thinking.
No, I just thought it was weird that you had to design things with such a worry about fire.
Oh, I'm not particularly worried about it, but it never hurts to be a little more safe.
What about water, though? That's more common than fire, right?
Well,
yes.
Yeah,
like one bad flood this entire town just turns to rust.
I developed a special coating to make certain that doesn't happen.
Is the coating flammable?
Well,
It's
that's
oil.
enough questions about the houses. Come on.
Congratulations on your reinvention of paint.
This is not the bit Pixel expected to get resistance for.
Oh no, it's a translucent gel. Actually, I think the raw steel imagery really holds up better than paint could do. You're gonna say?
Looks nice enough, I guess, but I prefer stone.
Yes, well, it would look a lot nicer were it not for the ominous blood-colored glow everywhere. The lanterns would have come on automatically.
But they haven't?
But, well, no, because the crimson stain. You're not seeing Tinscrap at its aesthetically best.
So you're saying that the lanterns come on automatically? But this thing that happens once a year you weren't ready for? Did you not expect it?
The moon is shining plenty of light into the city, so everything's a bit red tinted, but you can see your way around.
Sounds like a bit of a cop-out to me, but okay.
Okay, Nick.
If he's still getting a read on him, what's he thinking right now?
This fucking child.
He's thinking, all right, big opportunities, can't let them slip, to the other mode of transport. I'm not sure I'm telling you this much. You're not reading his mind, but I mean, maybe you can tell it from the fact that he is looking at a building beside the platform you're on that seems to lead to another mode of transport.
I've just remembered I can cast Detect Thoughts if we ever do need to read his mind.
You have the same body language my mother showed, well, my father showed, when you had a new type of building to reveal.
Oh, yes, and that's because I'm going to show you something quite special. Come with me, and he leads you off of the platform and through a door, and one corridor later, you are in what seems to be a train station. Now, this is a wonderful invention by me, if I do say so myself. You see, so long as you've got these tracks, you can have this machine travel anywhere. And so long as you place them strategically, you're able to get over very difficult places, very difficult types of ground with ease. It really takes the out of terrain. That's why I'm going to call it a movie. Because it moves people very easily, see?
Is it only like a single set of tracks?
Yeah, there's only one train in the town.
So, like, that's cool and all, but what happens if, like, this movie needs to go that direction, another one needs to come in? Do they just, like, crash into each other?
Oh, well, there's only one. Right now it's more of a proof of concept. Of course.
What happens when there's two?
Well, when there's two, we'll build another track.
So do you have to have a single set of tracks for every possible train? That seems like it gets inconvenient.
Why do you need this when you can already build a machine that can fly?
Your
like a lot of extra work.
inspection of this person reveals that he's clearly not great at dealing with children, as noted by his very obvious exasperated intake of air.
Which might mirror how the dungeon master feels, or sorry, the game master feels right now.
Thea just sort of giggles and catches themselves and tries to look stoic.
Also, why use this when magical teleportation circles exist? We could just, if you needed like move a lot of things at once, you could use those instead.
Well, do you want to be relying on teleportation magic all the time?
I mean, it seems more convenient.
Yes, until something goes wrong. This is constructed magic, artifice, far more stable than loose teleportation. What if a portal closes in on you, Great way to lose an arm, if you're lucky.
How's this thing powered?
Well, with magic, but again, contained magic. More constructed. More design put behind it.
Can I roll to determine... Oh, sorry.
What if something happens to that magic and it ruptures and it explodes?
Well, it's less likely to happen than with... Okay, look, do you want to go on to the movie? I really did not think these were the parts you would get hung up on.
It always
Welcome
happens.
to DMing.
Yeah, it always happens.
I'm not sure my parents would approve. It looks rather like a wizard's tower tilted to its side.
Think about it this way. Teleportation requires very high level magic. It's not available to everyone.
Couldn't you just make a circle?
Well, yes, but you still need to be able to cast the spell to reach the circle. This is a way
just make
to
a
travel
network of circles?
long and have a person stationed that can cast it at every one.
They're permanent, aren't they?
As soon as Utri says, "Don't you live in a wizard's tower?" he immediately just sort of stands up on their tiptoes and just fixes her with the coldest glare imaginable.
Utri looks still fixing you with the coldest glare imaginable.
Utri looks at her unimpressed.
I just personally find it funny that an artificer physically can't cast teleportation circles, so it's perfectly valid that they don't know that it's permanent.
I mean, to be fair, you do have to... Well, I suppose, I don't know if it counts in A5e, but I think in 5e at least you need to keep casting it every day for a year to make it permanent.
Look, I can employ someone who isn't a fantastically trained mage to move this train in one direction and the other all day far cheaper than it would cost to have someone keep casting teleportation all day.
Wait, train, I thought it was called a movie.
Yes, that.
Wait, so you're saying the advantage isn't that it's necessarily more effective, but that you only have to pay the person doing it less? I think he looks very angry all of a sudden.
Well, no, the job is available to far more people.
So you're paying them less.
Who wants to ride on the movie?
So you're kind of using technology to make it
So you forcefully into
a specialized subject that would take years of training is now like available to everyone? Kind of like you're providing artificial intelligence to people?
Oh no.
Let's not get off.
We're getting on the track.
Let's go to the movies.
Yes,
Okay.
don't get distracted.
Can I sort of look at the decoration and just double check it's not decorated like a wizard's tower?
This session is never ending.
The train is not decorated like a wizard's tower lying on its side.
Yeah,
no.
we should move on. This is getting a bit off the rails.
Can't believe the GM is railroading us like this.
You made it absolutely necessary.
The engineering is not going as planned.
You step in, the train sets off, and the artificer looks to Gargoyle. It's like, once we've got this sorted null zone business worked out, I would love to make a movie that reaches from here to Korakii. I think it would be fantastic. Think of the possibilities for trade alone. I was like, oh, well, yeah, I guess I could see the benefits. I'm not really from Korakii myself. It's like, oh, yes, well, we'd expand to other places procedurally, of course. Once you have the station in one city, it's easy enough to connect it to another.
You hear a little like a teleportation circle in the background.
And then you hear a ding, and the doors open. It's like, see? Exceedingly fast. Fantastic way to travel around a city. Unless you think that it warranted teleportation to get this far.
How far did we move?
Oh,
25 feet.
Can I still see the original station where we boarded?
I'd say you moved about a mile. So
Okay.
if you got up, you'd be able to see the station like high.
Hey, so GM, I've got a feature that lets me move for a city twice as fast as anyone else. Did I arrive before everyone else?
No, you didn't.
I don't know how you just being mean, Nick.
Okay, I am. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm on some nonsense today. You don't deserve this.
Okay, so you get off the train and you step outside of the station, and it's more of Tinscrap. Tinscrap looks pretty similar across the board, really. It's the steel buildings, it's the cobblestone ground, it's Tinscrap's aesthetic. But the artificer looks to you all and then kind of straightens out his coat and then looks to Gargoyle, just like, well, I think we should let the kids wander around a bit, discover some of Tinscrap for themselves. How about you come with me to my laboratory and we'll speak on, well, less cheery matters and hopefully see if we haven't found a solution for you. It's like, all right, yeah. No, are you kids going to be okay on your own?
I'm sure they have something that resembles pastries in this town.
V salutes.
I'm usually on my own.
Capulet
not
still
tonight,
angry
you're not.
glaring. And the artificer notices Capulet's angry glaring. It's like, oh yes, I almost forgot. I've got a little something for all of you. And he reaches into a pouch underneath his coat pocket and takes out 4 vials. And it's like, this is Endorphos juice. It is a wonderful potion of my own invention, of course. Takes away all of the stresses, and your little friend there seems rather stressed. Give it a little bit of a taste.
I think my parents warned me this would happen.
You have already received drugs from a fae.
Oh, yeah.
It's true.
Forgot about that.
I'm sorry. Are you selling these kids drugs?
Well, of course not. It's juice.
Hey, what's this made from? Only the last time I went to get food, bad things happened.
Oh, well, sorry. I can't reveal that. It's a trade secret.
Do you have any actual pastries, though?
Yeah, it's
I'm sure.
You're supposed to give us pastries.
Can I inspect this? Can I have like a look and a sniff and all that and try and work out what's in it? I have alchemist supplies proficiency, if that helps. But it is not brewer's tools, which would be the ideal one, I suppose. Unless it's a potion, in which case...
It is a potion, although it's going to be a hard DC because this is a complex potion.
So I don't get any specialization. I have no specialization in drinks of any kind. So it's going to be +7. Well, that's a natural 20. 27, but there's also there's critical success effects when you roll a nat 20 on skill checks now.
Oh, what are some of those critical success effects?
So you roll a d6 for, this would be facts and discoveries, I think. Probably. You have to decide whether it's arcane, facts and discoveries, medicine, physical skills, social skills. Well, it could be arcane, I guess.
Arcane or medicine.
I'll go with arcane because that happens to be what's on screen at the moment, and I can't be asked to scroll down.
All right, you give it
Doesn't work.
kind of...
It's I rolled free use. If you're activating something with charges, it doesn't use any charges on the crit. Just like,
Okay, well, how charged is Inoltrare's nose? Extra charge now, I suppose.
Oh, there it is. Yeah.
You give it a whiff, and like, you're not an alchemist, so you can't tell exactly what ingredients are in this, but you do get a faint whiff of smells that you've smelled before in kind of pain medications and kind of numbing agents. You can also smell that it is a bit sugary sweet.
Seems to be some kind of analgesic, and I will drink it.
Okay. Inoltrare, you feel great. Like, you were kind of stressed out about, you know, Utri being here and having just been on like 2 modes of transportation that could have gone wrong, and you know, just the night in general. But now it's all kind of doesn't seem like as much of a problem, really.
Let's go get those pastries, and I run off into the city.
No, wait, don't run off. Stick with the group.
I'm screaming, pastries, 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 pastries.
Thomas, are you? Do you have pastries?
Well, I'm sure there's probably some around the city. I'm a bit more concerned with the situation going on in your town, so I didn't prepare any myself personally. But I might have something for you. And he looks to Capulet. And Capulet kind of looks at him, like what? It's like, oh, it's just something that I've been experimenting on, and well, you're a plant-based creature, so I wanted to see how it would work. You know, if you don't mind being a bit of a test subject, just a little bit of a joke and saying, And then Capulet looks to Utri. It's like, don't let that one get up to anything.
V narrows their eyes. Sorry, go on.
Wait, what do you mean by that? What are they going to get up to?
Oh, heretical stuff, probably. And Capulet, Gargoyle, and the Artificer walk off, and I guess that leaves you both to run after Inoltrare.
Yeah, as we're running, the sort of glares at Capulet and says, I told you, I'm innocent.
Hi, innocent, I'm Capulet.
That artificer is going to be so disappointed.
Ooh, GM, did I make a discovery?
You did make a discovery.
Inspiration! Yay.
Oh yes, GM, I suppose, since I have now taken upon a quest that that involves my my vows, one ability I have is you get to pick a single skill of mine that will help me sometime later in the quest, and I gain temporary proficiency with it, or if I already have proficiency, expertise die.
Ooh, what an interesting thing. Engineering, I'd say, definitely for the Artificer town.
Engineering, got it.
Right, so Inoltrare, you're not able to run too far until... Man, just like, no reason to run. No reason to rush. Just slow things down. There's an entire night to enjoy all this.
Concerning, but okay.
Can't believe Inoltrare has been given a special Red Bull.
It's the opposite of Red Bull. It's Blue Duck.
Yeah, it's like special. Special
Blue
well, it's like a special smoothie.
Blue platypus.
No, you're just feeling so relaxed right now, and you're feeling so relaxed that you probably haven't noticed yourself that your wisdom, your dex, and your charisma abilities seem like they've been reduced by 4.
That's a good thing some of the other players haven't drunk this yet then, because if anyone's got a very low, if it ever hits 0, you die. So, cool. Wisdom, charisma, dex, all down to extremely low. I need to work out one.
Your intelligence is unaffected, so if you notice it being a problem, you might know of a way to fix it. On the plus side, though, you have immunity to psychic damage.
Yeah.
Woo!
Only if I take some. My AC is now 9. No, it should be 10. Only reduced by 4, which would reduce the modifier by 2.
So, Fee, Utri, you catch up to Inoltrare.
You feeling okay there, small one?
Everything's just like real mellow, man. Whoa.
I didn't know that Inoltrare, when relaxed, turns into the guy from Ghostbusters.
It's all easy cheesy. Yeah.
My god, this is giving me flashbacks to that episode of Farscape where everyone got brainwashed.
Yeah, just don't harsh my vibe, man.
Dude. All easy cheese.
Question: Could I argue what's affecting Inoltrare to be considered a poison?
You could argue that. I mean, you do know that, like, you know how Inoltrare behaves. You know better than a lot of people how Inoltrare behaves. Better than his parents, even.
No, I'm just wondering, like, mechanically, can I consider this a poison?
I think if it was, I would have a benefit. Avoid it.
Yeah, no, it's not mechanically a poison. But if you've got something that could counteract the effects of a poison or a status, throw it at me and I'll see if it lines up with what I've got here.
Basically, I can expend 5 points from my Lay on Hands healing pool to cure the target of 1 disease or neutralize 1 poison affecting it.
If you can cure him of 1 disease, then yeah, that'd work. It's not a disease itself, but it's kind of on that level.
Okay, then in that case, I will do that.
Dude.
Right, Inoltrare, Utri kind of puts her hands on your shoulders, something that she now knows that something is definitely up, because you would not willingly allow that to happen if there was not something wrong.
Dude.
In fact, the way she actually does this is she leans down near Inoltrare and just like hits it, like slaps him on the back. Wake up.
Suddenly, all of the stresses come back to you, and you feel yourself lose your psychic immunity, but also gain back those dulled abilities.
Fee sees their friend get smacked and becomes scared again.
I immediately
and
cast
just glares at Utri.
No, sorry. Yeah, I always forget how strong I am. You're okay there? You kind of spaced out when you took that thing the guy gave you.
It's gonna sound weird. Hold on a sec. I don't know. But then I came, and then I went again, and but I was, and I felt okay. But I guess, well, that's really all I gotta say. As Inoltrare is blinking in and out of the ethereal plane while he's explaining what's going on.
As he's coming back, his mage armor is starting to regain its shine, so he's becoming a bit brighter every time it happens.
See, this is why you do not take drugs given to you by strange artificers.
I knew my parents were right about this.
I don't know. Your parents also said don't talk to strangers, and I got this one on speed dial. She's fine. Bring out the mirror. I don't call anyone, but I bring out the mirror.
All right. So, you are in the middle of a strange metal town, and you have been ditched by your supervision.
Hey, I'm the supervision here.
I'm pretty sure I'm carrying my supervision.
No, your supervision went off to help the artificers.
I'm the beholder. I'm the supervision.
Quite literally, the supervision.
I can see the future.
He's going to continue glaring at Utri and say, "What did you do to him?"
Don't worry now. I just had to knock whatever drug that was in him out of him. It's fine.
I felt weird, and now I feel a lot worse. But normal, but worse.
Pharmacologically speaking, that makes no sense.
Don't worry about it. That's how it always works.
Does Utri seem sincere?
Does Utri seem sincere?
Utri's sincere.
Yep.
All right. Well, you could try to knock on a door and see if anybody is going to be giving out pastries. You could try to find just somebody in this town, which largely you've not seen anybody walking about. Or if you're worried and want to stock up, you might try to find a shop.
Okay,
I'm going to knock on the door and try and get some pastries.
Yeah, it's pastry time.
Yeah, I was going to ask, is there any sort of like a sign people would put out, say that they're giving out pastries?
In Korakii, yes. In many places, yes. Here, there doesn't seem to be any signs, really. I mean, there's signs that tell you the names of the streets, and there's signs that inform you whether something is like a store or not, but in terms of the houses, nothing.
Yeah. Well, obviously, I didn't mean like a literal sign. I meant something like
like a
Aetos version of a jack-o'-lantern outside.
Yeah, those definitely aren't here.
But yeah, we'll try to get some pastries.
Knock.
They did try putting out cheese in Korakii to kind of tie in with the moon, but they figured that didn't work since a dwarf kept going around and eating all of it. So Fee, what?
Yeah, Fee just follows behind Inoltrare to back him up.
All right, you go to the nearest door and give it a knock. And a woman opens it. And she looks down at you all. It's like, "Oh. Hello there, children. Don't get many visitors here."
We are here for your pastries.
"Oh. You want some food? Okay. Come in." And she walks back into her house, leaving the door open.
Is this just how they do Crimson Stain in these smaller towns?
Would Fee know if this is how they do Crimson Stain in these smaller towns?
This definitely isn't how Crimson Stain works. This isn't how house security works in any part of Aetos.
I'm pretty sure that most... Wait. Thought you were a mason. You know this is not how houses works.
I'm not a mason. My dad is a mason, and I know about construction, not cultural norms.
How do you know? Fee's completely confused by this because they were taught, but obviously the engineering on how a sewer's built, but also the etiquette of how a sewers are used. So it doesn't actually occur to them that someone might not know how people live in houses while knowing how they're built.
You can at least take solace in the fact that Mason Calaria probably knows. I don't know if the dad's name is Mason.
On to normative determinism in action.
So, should we, or...
Seems it would go against everything my parents warned me. On the other hand, at least it's not a mage's tower.
Plus, you do kind of go against everything your parents warn you a lot.
Most buildings do have not being a mage's tower going for them.
Yep, and yet a mage's tower can't manage it.
Damn shame on the mage's tower.
Well, if we're going in, I'll go in first. Stay behind me. And Utri walks in.
Okay, are you two following?
I'm following Fee.
Fee shrugs and follows. They all,
right.
they do turn to check Inoltrare is okay first though, because they're used to their friend being nervous, so they don't want to end up leaving him on the doorstep.
Aww.
Also, is Capulet still here, or?
Capulet left with the artificer and with Gargoyle.
Okay.
Back to her home. Yeah, Inoltrare is following close behind because he's still always a little bit nervous about getting abandoned. So he's like huddling up close and like.
Right. Well, you enter into the house and you see the woman, and on two chairs, you see. Kind of like a very, very small child, almost a baby sitting in one, and you see a boy sitting in the other. They are dressed in Crimson Stain costumes. However, that's the majority of what you see, because this house isn't really outfitted with much. There isn't a lot of furniture. There's really only the table, some chairs, and beds.
Okay, do we see anything else?
No.
Do the kids acknowledge us at all?
They look at you, and then they kind of smile a bit absent-mindedly.
Fee salutes.
And the brother looks to the sister and is like, "Look, Lisa, more kids." And then looks to you and is like, "Hey there."
Greetings. I am Fiore Beretta Clatcher, and these are my friends. Friend.
Who's the bully here?
I mean,
Look,
they've only
the,
just met
obvi-
Utri, to be
yeah.
fair. Like,
Yeah.
You
All he
were
knows about
going to
Utri is
cast
that she's
Grease.
been bullying her friend, their friend.
You were going to cast Grease on her father before you even knew who it was.
yeah, her father might have pulled out a weapon. You gotta be careful. Like, there's an adult sprinting towards a group of kids.
Well, I'm Carl, and this is... And he points to his little sister, Lisa, and that's my mom.
Oh, are you all getting ready for the Crimson Stain tonight?
We've been ready for a while.
How long?
Yeah, that is something. Utri,
Yeah.
make me a wisdom perception check, and if you have any expertise in smell, then do add it. Inoltrare, you're not very good with smell, but you are good with fashion sense.
Well,
So we'll wait for
define
Utri's
good.
check first.
Perception, you said?
Yes.
Would I have had 10 minutes yet, by the way, to read the room?
No, not yet.
16.
This is still introductions. 16. So, the thing of prestidigitation is, it instantly clean something or make something smell better, but it doesn't last forever. It will begin to fade and things will begin to get dirty and smell again. And you can kind of tell when it's being used on some clothes. These clothes have been prestidigitated quite a bit, but you'd say that they haven't been washed in quite a while. Inoltrare, with your keen fashion eye, you also notice that these costumes, the boy is dressed as a fire elemental with flimsy little trails of red fabric dangling down. The young kid is kind of dressed in a fabric-y green dragon costume. You notice that these costumes are quite tight-fitting. Not only that, but they're kind of damaged as well. And, like, it's not just damage of, you know, they were walking around and, you know, walked on some stones and, you know, tore up in some places. The damage is more so these are being worn through.
I have a question.
Yes.
I have an ability called Divine Sense, and I've specifically selected the Aberrations and Undead version for Divine Sense. Which means if there's an undead or aberration within 30 feet of me, I'd know it.
Well, there is none.
Okay. So that ends my initial worry.
And after staring at the wall somewhat absent-mindedly, the mother looks to you and she's like, sorry, we don't really have any food. If you're hungry, though, you could try some of those vials. They keep you nourished.
Are these the same vials?
Wait, you're going to drink one?
Sure, it was great last time.
I smacked
We'll
it out of your hand.
Feet also tries to stop him.
Fair enough.
You see the boy and the mother kind of look a bit surprised, and the mother kind of reaches her hand out at the sight of the vial, and then it kind of, I presume that you've made sure that this thing is irretrievable.
I was just going to grab Inoltrare's hands. So, I don't know if Utri did something more drastic.
No, I smacked it out of his hand, so if it didn't shatter on the ground, it's on the ground.
Okay.
I'm going to send a message. This time I'm going to send it to Fee and Utri. Say, hey, I'm going to do something. They might get upset. But I'm a little worried about them. Okay? So just keep them away from me. And then I'm going to reach into a pouch and get out a copper piece. I'm going to put it down on the table and say, penny for your thoughts, and cast Detect Thoughts.
All right. Who are you detecting the thoughts of?
Anyone within a 30-foot radius initially. But then I can penetrate into someone's mind against a wisdom saving throw. To find further. I think I would like to first check the surface thoughts of everyone. Well, I mean, I don't care about Fee's and Utri's surface thoughts.
Wow.
Well, I care about them, but it's not related to the mystery, is what I mean.
Yeah, okay, so right now, the boy and the mother's thoughts are Endorphos. I'd love to have another bit of Endorphos. And these thoughts are getting a bit louder as you see both of them slowly approaching the vial. And the mother speaks up. You wouldn't mind if I had that, would you?
I would like to now probe the mother's mind. So she makes a wisdom saving throw against my spell save DC, which is 15.
All right. That's a 6.
Okay. On a failure, you gain insight into the creature's motivations, emotional state, and something that looms large in its mind.
Okay, so what? And the emotional state and something looming large in its mind?
So it is motivations, emotional state, and something that looms large in its mind. But it she now knows I've done this.
Motivation right now? Get that vial. Its emotional state? She is entranced by that vial. And she is largely happy and relaxed, but also you're sensing in there fear and anxiety, like very nasty and worried emotions that are being pushed to the back of her mind. And when you try to reach for those emotions, the overwhelming thing that you feel is kind of just a staticky noise.
Okay, I would like to send a message to Utri and Fee, and they're obsessed with these bottles. I don't know if we should get rid of them or leave them to it, but that's it. And then
This is exactly what my parents warned me about. We should get out of here.
Yeah, I'm going to keep detect thoughts up for the full minute.
What Uchi's going to do is she's going to slightly raise her arm so that, like, as if like she's attempting to cover Fee and Inoltrare, and she starts slowly backing out, kind of pushing them with her. Well, it's been a good time. I think we'll just head on out. Have a wonderful crimson stain.
Are you sure that you can't spare any Endorphos?
Oh, don't worry. It's fine. It's fine. We're just going to go.
He does point to the vial that's already on the ground.
Oh, did nobody pick it up?
No.
Well, then the boy has been steadily approaching, and he's going to pick it up. And his hands are kind of jittering a bit at the excitement of having more of this. And he opens the vial, and he downs it. Just downs it.
I had so much fun on the train, I forgot this was the Halloween session.
Yeah, and...
Oh no.
When he downs it, you see that his eyes just dilate. The pupils get larger, and his movements get a bit more sluggish. And he just kind of stops moving. He's still standing, not moving and not regarding you.
Not great.
Inoltrare, you've got read mind up, right?
Yep. For the next minute.
Yeah, well, you're detecting this boy's thoughts now, because this is quite a spectacle for you. And you know that static that you were feeling getting pushed back in the woman's mind? That static is all of the boy's mind.
I'm just going to send another message telepathically to her. This one's only... No, this was go to Fee and Utri again. And it's, I don't like it, I don't like it, I don't like it, I don't like it, I don't like it.
As you're saying this, his jaw is kind of quivering and drool's starting to pour out one side of his mouth, and he's just not responding at all.
Yeah, okay, yeah, we're going to go. You'll all have a wonderful night. And Uchi's kind of pushing out Fee and Inoltrare a bit faster.
Yeah, happy Crimson Stain. It's not even bothering to try and look badass.
All right, you step out. You presumably close the door. Just get that yourself. And you're back out on the streets.
I don't...
So that happened.
I don't like what I saw in there.
What just happened?
Is everyone in this town like that?
Their thoughts, all they could think about was more of the vials.
Wait right here. Uchi's going to go up to another house and knock on the door.
You knock on the door, and this one is empty. Nobody comes to pick up the knock.
Hey, Utri, you cured me of the vial stuff. Can you cure them?
I can only do that so many times.
Okay.
Do you want to try the next house over?
Yeah.
Right, well, you try the next house over. This one does have somebody respond. You hear footsteps coming towards the door, and then it opens, and you see a man. He looks down at you. He's got that same kind of vacant stare as that mother had.
If I look into his house, like behind him, do I see any more of those vials?
You don't see any more of the vials, but you do see that the inside is decorated exactly the same. Just a table, just some chairs, just some beds.
Oh, sorry, wrong house. Sorry. And Utri backs away.
That's all right. It happened. And he slowly closes the door.
I think we need to find Gargoyle.
I'm worried about that artificer. I think
Yeah.
he'll be in trouble.
Yep. Yeah. He looks just genuinely scared right now.
Mm-hmm.
And in your genuine panic, it has happened upon your mind that they didn't say where they were going.
They didn't say. They didn't say where they were going. He left us. He left us.
Hey, no, calm down.
Inoltrare is getting that abandonment feeling all over again.
He basically sidles up to Inoltrare.
Oh, when I said I'd be protecting kids today, this is not what I had in mind.
Are you okay, Fee?
Yeah. I'm just afraid I'll be late for supper.
I still have detect thoughts up. Actually, it's only a minute long, so it's probably gone now.
I'd say it's gone now with the knocking on the additional doors.
Mean, if there's any left, you get the impression that Fee definitely is not okay right now.
Okay, so I'm going to reach into one of the many pockets that I've sewn into this beholder suit. Gotta have my stuff. And I'm going to bring out like quite a... It's not dirty, but it's like distressed. Quite a distressed blanket. And I'm going to hand it to Fee and say, I find this helps me feel better when I'm scared.
Thanks. Inoltrare.
If you do have to use it, it is the ghost-blessed blanket, and it gives you advantage on saves against frightened.
So long as you attune to it for an hour.
Yes, so it won't really help, but you never know.
Yeah, but
it's
you don't need detect thoughts up to hear from an alleyway. Where are you?
I'm gonna need the blanket back for a second.
Fee hands it back and draws their they draw their catapult.
This sounds like a child, so on the Crimson Stain, you're not sure if that's better or worse.
Fucking warriors going on.
Wait, does it sound like Morgan?
No. Somehow even Morgan has a bit more charisma than the people of this town.
It's time for fashion sense. Do you reckon their charisma score is lower than mine?
You know, considering that juice lowers your charisma by 4 ability score points, it's likely.
Great. I'm going to immediately hide behind Fee.
Fee takes a deep breath, collects himself, and says, "Show yourself."
The place isn't getting closer to you. It's still in the alleyway. Just saying. Are you over here?
Hey.
Do not
Fee
like.
looks at Utri. Fee looks at Utri.
Usually looks
Makes
back at Fee.
Yep. Fee, yes. They just sort of make a hand gesture that's like, just sort of with me, and starts to creep towards the alleyway.
Come on. You win already. Just tell me where you are so we can play again.
Utri peers into the alleyway.
The first sight you see is horns. Or antlers, to be more precise. That's the most prominent thing. And then, after those catch your attention, you look down a bit, and you see that there's a humanoid attached to those antlers. Come on. You can come out now.
Can I tell anything about this humanoid?
You can tell that it is and let me pull up the name because A5e, it's a new thing with new races. You can tell that this humanoid is a cervid, and that's essentially a deer humanoid. That's why it has the antlers, and it also has hooves, much like a satyr would have.
What
And
does it seem to be doing?
Seems to be just walking aimlessly around different walls and saying what it's been saying.
Fee pauses for a moment and just looks at Utri to see if she has any opinions.
Utri looks conflicted for a moment before she enters the alleyway and goes, "Hello? Are you okay?"
As this happens, Fee just makes sure Inoltrare is okay.
Oh,
No.
hey. Can you help me? I'm playing hide and seek with my friend, but I haven't been able to find them.
How long have you been playing for?
Just a while.
Hey, can I tell if there's something they're not telling us here?
Sure, make me a wisdom insight check.
Alrighty.
Can I also make this check?
Yes, you can.
Okay, so question,
And-
I have proficiency. Sorry, go on.
And this is for discerning the truth, correct?
Yes.
Cool, that means I gain an additional D4.
Okay. So if I've got this right, I've got proficiency with insight, so it's my wisdom score plus my proficiency bonus.
Yes.
So downside for me, that's a natural 1. Upside for me, I gain inspiration.
This kid could be up to anything.
Should I mention there are critical failures as well for ability checks now?
I got a 22 for what it's worth.
You get a 22, so you're able to tell this kid, like, yeah, okay, he's acting a bit weird, but, like, so is everyone in this town, and he doesn't seem to be lying, and in fact, now that you think about it, you're not sure that these people have the capacity to be lying.
Looking at the critical failures to social skills, it doesn't look like any of them would apply here.
Hey, can I look around to see if there's any sign of this kid's friend then?
You can, and I'll tell you for free, there isn't.
I don't see your friend around here anywhere. What do they look like?
I don't either. That's why I'm looking for them.
Yeah, can't argue with that.
What was the second thing? He seems to be trying to catch up to, like, you're asking him questions a bit too quickly.
Sorry. What does your friend look like?
Oh, well, I could go into the details, but you're not Servid, so easier to say he looks kind of like me.
You don't find your friend in a puddle, do you? Just checking.
That's silly. Inoltrare, you are scared.
Yes.
For an additional reason.
Oh.
This servant is not wearing conventional clothing. You cannot tell anything about this person by their base appearance.
Question: is that just because servants just don't wear clothes, or is it?
Yeah, they're more kind of foresty
Okay.
folk.
You mean the
Utri?
furries?
You get this in your head. I'm scared of the naked deer person.
It's like they're as naked as you'd expect a centaur to be, you know?
Technically speaking,
Naked.
they're nude, not naked.
Yes.
Thanks, Fee. I'm still scared, though.
Yeah, Fia
Sorry.
pulls Inoltrare into a hug.
Utri can't let this. Just can't let this be. She walks up to the servant kid, gently places her hand on his shoulder, and that's 5 more points of lay on hands gone.
I like how you can choose to do it gently. Fee is witnessing this, by the way.
I see that you can do this gently.
So he kind of stumbles back away from your grasp a bit before, like leaning down, holding his head. Just,
Hey! No, it's okay. It's okay.
what? Who are you?
I'm here to help.
Help with what? Where's Connor?
We don't know. We found you looking for him, but
Hey,
it's okay. Just take it slow.
trying to think. Nothing's coming. Where are we?
What was the name of the town again?
Tinscrap.
We're in Tinscrap.
I remember that name. We came here from the forest. I don't know what's going on.
When was the last? As far as you know, what day is it? What's the last day you can remember?
No, I'm just trying to remember a day of the week in the Aetosian calendar that isn't feast.
I mean, it could be feast. With the last feast.
I think it was Thaw?
Of when?
I don't know. We don't really have much calendars where I'm from. Okay, retrace my steps. Why am I in an alleyway? Where's Connor?
We don't know. For some reason, it seems like everyone in this town seems to be affected by some drug of some sort.
Rink, it's a rink. Got offered some by someone. Man in fancy clothes said his name was Hugo. Drink, and he's looking around the alleyway, and he spots something in the wall, It appears to be a machine. It's kind of mounted into the wall. And he walks up to it and he looks at it. I think I remember this is where you get them from.
I don't think it's a good idea to get any more of that stuff, whatever it is.
And he doesn't realize what he's doing, but you see his hand press a button on the machine, and you expect that it might dispense a vial of Endorphos juice, but instead, the face that is on top of the little like impression into the wall for where the mechanisms are, its eyes begin to glow, and it looks down and it scans the Servid, and it says, "Danger. Endorphos levels too high. Please wait 43 minutes and 3 seconds for next dose of Endorphos."
Hey, there's no need to be pressing these buttons here.
And he looks at his
Destroy
hand
this machine.
and he pulls it away. It's just like, I didn't mean to do that. I remember doing that. I remember doing it so many times. So many times.
Look, I know you're disoriented, and this is just more things coming your way. Do you know where Hugo goes? Like, do you know where he stays?
I hardly know who he is. It's like I haven't been awake for so long. And he kind of backs away from the machine to a box lying in the alley and just sits on it, just holding his head.
Okay. Can Fee use their Mason's tool proficiency to try and analyze the machine a bit?
You can analyze the machine. I don't think Mason's tools would cut it. I'd say this would be more of a tinker tool situation.
Well, what I'm mostly interested in is it if it's connected to anything, or if it's like a freestanding device.
Give me a check using Mason's tools if you have the proficiency.
Yep, I've got Mason's tool proficiency. What skill am I using?
You just use the proficiency for the Mason's tools. I'm pretty sure.
Okay. That's fine by me, because most of my mental stats would be a penalty anyway. But that's a natural one anyway.
I mean, it looks so seamless, but also there's an outline. It's hard to tell if it's part of the wall. It's hard to tell if it's freestanding. It looks like it's supposed to be here.
Could I make an engineering check?
You can.
Because I have proficiency in that. Oh, it would be a what engineering?
It would be, I would say, intelligence engineering.
Intelligence engineering, okay. So that would be a 14.
Right. Well, you are able to tell that the seam between this thing and the wall is not just aesthetic. It seems that this thing can be pulled out. You're not sure for what purpose.
Before we potentially break it, it talks, right? Can I try talking to it?
You can try talking to it.
Like, hey, machine, are you connected to other machines like you?
Doesn't say anything.
Hey, machine, can you shut down?
Doesn't respond.
Okay. He tries pressing the button.
The eyes immediately flash and scan you. Down and then back up again. Same as it did with the Servid. And it
He
says,
glares back.
"Danger. Endorphos levels dangerously low. Please consume some Endorphos." And in the little hollowed out section, you see a vial drop into a little holster, packaged and ready for consumption.
I would like to try something very stupid. But it's the kind of bullshit my subclass specifically can do. I would like to press the button, and then when it activates, I would like say, "Machine, I'm your creator. I have new orders for you."
I'll take the bar and pocket it.
Because one thing I can do, if I make deception or persuasion checks, and they are related to my my arcane specialty, one of which is constructs, I can use intelligence instead of charisma to essentially like technobabble it and convince something that I'm telling the truth. Like do a deception check, but using intelligence and the arcana and constructs instead of using deception and charisma.
That is an interesting ability, but when you press the button, you just see the eyes come up. As you're saying this to the machine, it scans you down, it scans you up, and then it says, "Danger. Endorphos levels dangerously low. Please consume some Endorphos." And
I don't think it's intelligent.
Vial drops down, ready to be picked up and consumed.
I'll pick it up.
He takes the vial before Inoltrare tries to drink it.
I mean, you have got a higher dexterity than me. You would be able to.
So how do you do this?
Quickly. Also, they know what's going to happen, so they already have the hand ready.
What are you doing with your hand?
I'm moving my hand over, picking up the vial and taking it away.
Okay.
Uh-oh. That's a very specific GM noise there.
Yeah, no, okay.
Yes.
That happens. You are still in the alleyway with the Servid and with the dispenser.
Uchi's going to pull the dispenser out of the wall.
Oh, we're just going for that, huh?
Can I help?
You can help. Yeah, make me a strength check. Just flat strength.
What do I roll to help? Am I rolling strength as well, or am I just offering advantage or something?
You can offer advantage with it.
Can I argue athletics?
You can argue athletics, yeah, sure.
Sweet, sweet, sweet. Because I get a free D4 on athletics, a free expertise die.
See, it's weird because there is a... Oh, do you just have it for that skill in general?
Yes.
Yes, because there's some things where it's not just a specialty, you can get an expertise die for the skill, and then if you have a specialty for it, it bumps the die up.
That is a 17.
That is a fantastic roll, and you realize quite quickly the roll doesn't really matter, because as soon as you try to yank this thing out of the wall, it starts coming out of the wall of its own volition.
Oh.
That was a pretty good pull.
Yeah,
stronger than I thought I was.
Begins slowly elevating as steam pours out from underneath it. It rises, and two legs seem to be rising from it. Two appendages start coming out of the side, and they look kind of like arms, except very hammery. And some tendrils, like metal wire protectors, I suppose, like start flailing around behind it. And it looks at you with the face. It's like, aggression detected. Please consume some Endorphos. Roll initiative for me, please.
Oh no.
Well, this thing great.
Okay.
Another natural one.
What do you add to it? Does he add anything to? Okay, so your initiative's 2.
Actually, give me a small moment. I believe I actually have something for this.
Oh no,
For initiative.
4 is my initiative because I have a -1. I forgot.
I'm using a different dice.
Okay, this thing, unfortunately for you, didn't roll the worst it ever has.
I don't have a thing for this. That was an optional thing I didn't take.
Right, Inoltrare, do you have your roll?
That's 12.
Yes, 4.
Okay, Utri is 12, and Inoltrare is 4.
Mm-hmm.
Oh boy, this thing is going first. And instead of attacking you, it is going to open up 3 small compartments on its lower body, and out is going to pop 3 little mechanical spiders.
Oh no.
So let's see. We'll make that. And then. Sorry, I've got a stat block for these as well. Yeah, they pop out. And they are going to stay relatively still, because when you summon something, generally they move before you in the turn order. But that's all that it does this time, which means that it is Utri's turn.
Cool. Utri's going to cast a cantrip, Arcane Muscles.
Okay, what does Arcane Muscles do?
My muscle swat arcane power. There are 2 clumsy to effectively wield weapons with. But until the spell ends, I can choose my spellcasting ability score for athletics checks and the attack of damage rolls of unarmed strikes. And my unarmed strikes deal 1d6 bludgeoning damage. They count as magical.
Nice. So is that a bonus action, or is that your action?
That is a full action, actually.
Oh, do you have anything for your bonus?
I believe so. I forgot to write down if this was a bonus action or not. Give me a moment. How does this work? Sorry, I'm reading.
That's all right.
Okay, yeah, I'm going to give up one of my first level spell slots so that I can get an exertion point.
Okay.
And use that exertion point to enter Zealous Stance.
All right, what is Zealous Stance going to do for you?
When I make my first attack on my turn, I can decide to gain an expertise die on melee weapon attack rolls until the start of my next turn, as long as I'm in the stance. However, when I do so until the start of my next turn as well, enemies gain an expertise die against me. I haven't made my first attack yet, but since this is a stance, this goes in perpetuity, whatever that means.
Perpetuity until something ends the stance.
Yeah, so basically when I make my first attack during the turn, I can choose to activate the effect of the stance, which gives me an expertise die on attacks, but also gives enemies an expertise die against me.
All right, does that only apply to your first turn, or will apply throughout the combat?
Throughout the combat, it's a stance.
All
or
right.
until I activate a different stance.
Okay, cool. You are now using that stance, and it is now Inoltrare's go.
Okay, I'm going to use my inspiration as a bonus action to critically evaluate this evil vending machine. So critical evaluation is my inspiration feature. As a bonus action, I can determine one of either its resistances, its immunities, its vulnerabilities, its languages, or its armor class. I am going to choose resistances.
Okay, so here's the thing. This thing doesn't have any resistances, but I will allow you to choose something else.
Immunities?
All right, so are you looking for damage immunities or condition immunities?
It just says immunities in general. Let me just double check whether it means damage. I think it means damage. I think it means damage.
All right. Well, I'll just give you the damage and the condition immunities, all of them, because I think you'd be able to tell this based on the fact that this is a machine. It is immune to poison and psychic damage. And it is immune to the blinded, charmed, deafened, exhaustion, frightened, paralyzed, petrified, and poisoned conditions.
That's really good. That's good. What I've learned, importantly, what I've learned is it is not in any way immune or resistant to lightning damage. So I'd like to try and position myself such that I can get a line going between me and the vending machine that's not going to hit Utri or Fee. Or the
I'd say that you're able to do that. The Cervid is hiding behind a box away from the fight. It's noticed all of this going on. It doesn't want to be part of it.
Are there any positions I can be where I also hit a spider, or do you reckon that's not possible with the crowd going around it as it is?
I'd say you can hit one of the spiders.
Okay, so what I'm going to need from them, let me just get the rules for lightning bolt. I think it's basically the same as 5e, so I think it's a dex save. Yeah, dexterity save to halve it. So yeah, DC 15.
All right, well, first let's roll for the Endorphos dispenser. Oh, that's a 4. That's not getting saved at all.
Nice.
And then let's roll for the spider. Does this thing have evasion? No, it does not. And that's an 11.
Okay, 2 failures. So that's going to be 8d6 lightning damage to each one. So 14, 16 plus 20, 26, 28, 30 points of lightning damage to each of them.
Ooh. Chunky.
Gotta love a good lightning bolt.
You indeed do. And that spider absolutely gets blasted and destroyed. It just explodes in front of you.
Yay! And then I remember that the danger is not over. And I go, oh. And then if I've got any movement left, I would like to hide behind something. If there's anything to hide behind. If not, I'll just move back a bit.
Yeah, no, you've dealt damage to this thing. And it doesn't like that.
Understand.
Yes, and it also has a reaction. Could you make a strength or dexterity saving throw against 13?
Okay. Not very good at those. So it's equal no matter which one I pick. So I'm going to pick strength.
All right.
That's a 3.
No, Channel Divinity, roll it again.
Are you sure? I've got a -1 on these. It's not, I'm not going to succeed.
I mean, hey, not nearly as bad as Fee.
That's a 4.
Wasted my Channel Divinity.
You know what my D20 rolling is like.
Yeah, you try to warn Inoltrare, but just doesn't have time to move out of the way as one of those steel tendrils, in fact, a few of them, lunge from underneath the machine and then begin wrapping around him, holding him in place. Inoltrare, you're grappled.
Eep.
Yep.
Does anyone try to take any damage from this?
No. Not from this one.
Luckily, I have a way out of this.
All right, so is this the end of your turn?
Yeah, that's the end of my turn there.
All right, Fee, your turn.
Okay, how close are the last 2 spiders together?
I'd say that they'd be about like 10, maybe 15 feet apart. Like they were put out in a bit of a spread.
Okay, so if I make my attack action, I can't hit both of them. Actually, how does it work? Because I can attack twice. Do I have to use both of those attacks simultaneously, or could I attack one, then move and attack the other?
You can attack one and then move and attack the other.
Yeah.
You can space out the attacks however you want. They just count as the same action.
Okay. In that case, I'm going to run up to one and hit it with my mirrored twin swords.
Okay.
I love this sword.
Yep. I mean, I thought about using their special ability, but I kind of want to save it just in case. Okay, that is... What's my dexterity? That's +1, plus proficiency, that's +3. Does 15 hit?
Yes, it does. I felt nervous for this spider as you were tallying all that up. What's the damage?
Yeah, I got... Okay, let's see. I'm just two-handing one of the swords. So that's going to be a D8. Where's my D8? There's my D8. Going to be +3 plus my dexterity, so that is 6 points of slashing damage.
Okay. It's a decent hit. And then you want to move to the other one?
Well, if that's not finished it off, I'm going to try and hit it again.
All right.
Ooh, so close to a crit. 26.
Yeah, that's definitely going to hit it.
Oh. I only rolled 1 on the damage for a total of 5 points of slashing damage.
I mean, hey, you're taking the HP down.
Yep. And I guess...
Yeah, you hit it and it kind of lets off little mechanical hisses each time you do.
Okay, are attacks of opportunity a thing in this game, remind me?
Yeah.
Oh, they are. I should have given you an attack of opportunity for moving away from the first one. It's got a rubbish melee attack, though, but we'll see if it hits.
Wait. What did I move away from?
Oh, no, you didn't move away from it because you attacked the same one. Right, yeah, no, you're fine. Alright, so...
Oh, wait. I'm dual wielding. Do I get a bonus action to... Oh, wait, no, because I was using the... one-handing one of the swords. Never mind. Two-handing one of the swords. Yep. Yeah, two-handing. That's the word.
Alright, is there anything else, or is that your go?
Oh, wait, yeah, could I activate Knockdown Assault, please?
Please tell me what Knockdown Assault is.
Knockdown Assault. Your unpredictable maneuvering puts your opponent off balance. When you connect with your weapon, they stumble and fall. When you activate this maneuver, you take an attack action and make the melee weapon attack, as well as any additional attacks granted by extra attack. Oh wait, no, I need to activate it before I attack, never mind.
Yeah, that does sound like it, unfortunately. But you can totally do it next time.
Yep.
Alright, any bonus actions?
Yes, that's my go.
Okay.
Don't have any bonus actions, so yeah.
We move on to Spider 3, who's been promoted to Spider 2. Lucky for it.
Field promotion.
Spider 2 takes a look at you, Utri, and a flash emanates from it.
Oh?
Yep. Big ol' flash. And then it is going to turn around. From behind it, you see a needle slowly poke out.
Oh.
And that is 11. I don't think that's going to hit.
No, that won't hit.
Yeah, the needle shoots out, but it hits your armor in a place where it's very well protected, so it just clinks off. And then the spider starts crawling up the wall, seemingly away from the fight.
That's not good.
Not good indeed. Then we move on to spider numero uno. Fee, that is going to snap a picture of you.
Uh-oh.
And then it is going to move away to the closest wall and begin climbing up it. you can take an attack of opportunity.
Righty. Now that's an 11 to hit.
That is not going to hit. You just miss it as it begins crawling out of the way, so it can crawl up the wall. And from the wall, in retaliation for you having tried to hit it, its abdomen automatically aims towards you.
Oh.
Does a 10 hit you, Fee?
It does not.
All right. It in turn misses. But yeah, they're both on the wall now. They seem to be wanting to get away from this fight. Still,
it misses me with.
it just misses you with a steel needle.
Oh dear.
All right. Very much in the fight, though, is the Endorphos dispenser. And the Endorphos dispenser has you grappled, Inoltrare.
Yep.
It's going to flip open its face.
Oh no.
And inside its face, it has something akin to, you know, like a mask you'd see at a hospital that is providing oxygen to somebody.
Yeah.
It rises up out of it. And it's like, please consume some Endorphos.
Oh, I don't like this at all.
The mask is going to lunge for you. Here's how this works. You make a strength or dexterity saving throw. I make a sleight of hand check.
Okay. Okay. I'm not good at those.
Well, it's okay. This thing doesn't have proficiency with sleight of hand.
Yeah. That's
This
an
is rolled
unnatural
12.
1 DM.
Oh, the mask just lunges for you, and it like cups itself around your face, and you feel the gas just travel through the tube, and when it hits you, you get that sugary, sweet kind of smell and taste that you got from the Endorphos. Yeah, this isn't so bad. It relieves its grip of you. And now that you have some Endorphos, it's moving its attention to somebody else. And I think Fee has been the most violent so far. So probably best to get that taken care of.
I do try.
So it is going
my
to...
way. The violence of the sewers.
It is going to step towards you, and it's going to reel its arms back. Its hammer-like arms, I should remind. And then it is going to launch the first one. That is an 11 to hit. Does an 11 hit you?
It misses, and I'd like to activate my ability, Leading Throw.
Ooh, what's leading throw?
Leading Throw. An opponent that strikes at you invites peril as they find the momentum from their attack turned against them. When a creature within your reach misses you with a melee weapon attack,
This is a melee weapon attack.
you can use your reaction to throw it. The creature makes a dexterity saving throw or moves 15 feet in a straight line in the direction of your choice.
Okay. I'm not sure if he's got a great strength check, or strength modifier, but we'll see how this goes.
This is this is against my maneuver save DC.
I can't believe this. They've spent so long talking about how much they hate AO, and here we have Dance with the Moonlit Devil.
What check is it making?
Dexterity saving throw.
Dexterity saving throw.
I mean,
all
Fee
right.
is basically a smaller AO.
Yeah. They just don't like
That is
it.
how they're dressed.
That's a 19.
Oh.
Yeah, you try to grab this thing's arm as it's being launched at you and like pull it around and try to do, like a spin around and then toss it back in the direction that you're facing. But then you realize, this thing is really heavy.
Yeah, I guess because they're cosplaying AO, it's not going to work either.
No, that's minor hypnosis and you know it.
He is a minor.
Then you
This
hear
thing is
another...
trying to hypnotize.
Yeah, well, reality comes back to you all too soon as you hear another click and you realize, oh, this thing has 2 appendages. And that's a 23 to hit.
Yeah, that hits.
Yeah, I'd figured that it would. So let's see. That is 1d10 plus 3. That's 11 damage.
Oh shit, I need to reduce all of my scores, don't I?
11 damage, you said?
11 damage.
Uchi's going to clutch her driving locket.
Ah, yes, the driving locket. Do you want to tell us what that does?
Yes. The driving locket is a non-magic item that can only be used by Utri Kularia. When a creature friendly to that is friendly to you and you can see takes damage, I can use my reaction to clutch locket. My next attack against the source of that creature's damage gains a bonus to hit and deals additional damage based on how much damage the creature took. So, because you took 11 damage, next time I attack it, I get +1 to hit and an additional d6 of damage.
Nice. Speaking of, that's it for its go. So, you're up.
Utri's going to stand behind it, and she is going to give it a good thwack.
All right, make me an attack.
And I will be activating my Zealous Stance here, which means I gain the expertise die on this attack.
It's a good idea.
For a total of 26.
That'll definitely hit it.
And I am also going to, on top of this, I'm going to smite.
Oh, yeah. You can do that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah, I'm also going to not just do that, but I'm going to
I'm scared that there's now an additional third additional source of damage.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I'm going to repelling smite this specifically. I can empowered smite once per long rest, or if I use an additional first level spell slot, which I'm not doing in this case. I'm just doing the once per long rest. Repelling smite. Your smite deals force damage, and they must make a strength saving throw or be pushed back 10 feet and knocked prone.
Nice.
Right, well, let's see how much damage you're doing first.
Okay, so 1d6 from the locket, 1d6 from me having my cantrip up, an additional. Let's see, I'm 5th level. 2d8 on top of that. That is 14 damage. 9 of it is nine of it is radiant, 3 of it is force, and 2 of it is magical bludgeoning.
Right, well, you have almost halved the remaining health this thing has.
Cool. I don't get a bunch of bonuses, a bunch of additional bonuses on it, but I do still get another attack.
You do. Let's hope you roll as well as you've done the first time.
16?
16 is exactly what you need to hit this thing. Roll me damage.
Yeah, that is a total of 7 damage.
Oh, not smiting again?
No.
Oh.
I gotta save some of my spell slots.
Yeah, right. The electricity that is coming out of the exposed wires on this thing is starting to get really manic. Steam is starting to pour out of places you think that it shouldn't normally be. This isn't looking good. It's starting to look a little bit jittery as it's standing against you, but it's still standing.
Saving throw, please. Strength saving throw.
Oh, yeah, strength saving throw. That will be +3. That is 12.
That barely makes it. Damn it. In that case, it's only knocked back 5 feet, and it's still standing.
Okay, it's knocked back 5 feet. Inoltrare, it is your turn.
So I've applied the ores to my... It was strength, dexterity, and wisdom. Was that right?
Let me give it a check. Wisdom, dexterity, and charisma.
Wisdom, dexterity, and charisma. Okay. Strength is still...
Luckily, you don't really use those much in combat.
You mean the only checks I've been making so far? Strength and dexterity to not be grabbed.
For your attacks.
Oh yeah, for my attacks, but to get I'm getting constantly attacked back with this thing. Yeah, I'm just gonna go like dazedly go, yeah, this is cool, and walk, because I'm not afraid of this thing anymore. I'm walking straight up to it. I'm gonna put my hand on it. Hey.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's not afraid of you either, but
Shocking grasp. Would you say it's wearing metal armor? Technically, that's what the rule is, but
you know,
I get advantage because it's metal normally.
I'd say it counts.
Yay! Let's see if I can roll above a 4. I can, thanks to advantage, because the other d20 was a free. That's unnatural 20 to hit.
Right, so this is an attack roll?
Yeah, with shocking grasp.
Yeah, that'll hit it.
And that, so it can't take a reaction. It loses its reactions. It can't take any of them. So that tentacle thing is shut down, and it can fuck off. And it takes 2d8 damage. Lightning damage.
I'm sorry about your funny robot, Pixel.
Takes 14 lightning damage, and it can't take reactions until the start of its next turn.
It wasn't going to take reactions until the start of its next turn anyway, because as you put your hand on its leg to kind of just be like, hey there, buddy, like the electricity sparks from your hand, it travels all around it, and then it begins to jitter, like really, really just like shaking before it just slowly starts to fall backwards and then hits the ground with a massive thud.
Inoltrare stares at it for like 3 seconds, and then it just goes, whoa.
All right. Inoltrare Reeves is, I guess, soaking in the victory, as well as the rest of that gas. Fee, it is your turn.
More thing. I'm going to use a bonus action to actually use a portent for once.
Ooh.
Okay. That's probably good enough. Fee, you get a d20 roll of a 12 on the next thing you do, which should be enough to hit, I think.
Okay. Yep.
The 12 is before any bonuses, correct?
Yeah, that's before bonuses. So
okay, before bonuses. Yeah, no, that will. So, what were you asking, Fee?
You were saying something?
I was saying, Fee, it is your turn. What do you want to do?
Okay.
There are 2 spiders crawling up the walls.
Yep, I guess I'm going to use that 12 to take a shot at one of them with my slingshot. Actually, you know what? I'm going to spend another exertion point to use double shot. So I'm going to shoot at the one I haven't damaged. Okay. With 2 missiles, which obviously that's a 12 plus my bonuses, so it's going to hit.
All right, roll me damage.
Yep. On a hit, I deal an additional weapon damage die. That's going to be 2d6, sorry, 2d8, plus my dexterity modifier. Sorry, I can never find my d8s. There we go. And that's a pretty good roll. 16 points of damage.
Oh yeah, that is a good roll. It is like on its last legs, not literally, else it would be falling, but it's looking about as bad as that dispenser did before it dropped.
Okay, this leaves me in a pickle. I've got 2 badly damaged robots and only 1 more attack.
Oh! No, wait. Okay, so that was 17 damage that you did?
16.
16. Okay, so you were attacking the other one, right? Sorry. I got confused in the initiative tracker for a second. I mean, this one isn't quite as bad as I described, but it is doing worse than the one that you hit before.
Okay. So now I need to decide. Oh, wait. Before I attack it, can I retroactively say my bonus action to designate it with my Titan's Ire?
Oh, go on.
I don't think you have to do
Yay.
that retroactively.
It says here I need to spend a bonus action. I mean, to get the damage I would.
You can spend bonus actions as part of your attacks. That's how monks work in 5e, for example.
Okay.
Alright, what damage are we adding?
Okay, so whenever I use the attack action on my turn, if the attack remains within 60 feet of me. Okay, so this is a ranged spell attack. If I'm wielding a magic weapon, it adds that. Bonus. So basically, random misfortune is going to pelt it with whatever. Yeah, whatever. So some random misfortune is going to damage it for an extra 1d4.
Alright.
That's 2 points of bludgeoning damage.
Okay. I'll just tell you straight up, this thing is on its last 10 hit points.
Okay. Oh. This is interesting. Because I've not moved since my last turn, I'm also actually attacking with a +1 bonus, but that's besides the point. Okay. Oh, and because it's archery, I get a +2. Okay, so I guess I can't do much else. So I'm going to attack the one I just attacked again.
Okay. 13 to hit.
His AC's gone up.
No, it hasn't. It's always been this way for these spiders.
Okay. Could have sworn at least once 12 hit. I don't actually know why I'm calculating this except on principle, but...
You got the 12 as a portent from Inoltrare, but you applied bonuses.
Yeah. Yeah, but that was last... I mean, I could have sworn a 12 hit on a previous turn. Maybe I'm imagining things. But yeah. That is... So... +1 because from my accuracy reserve. +2 because it's because of trained accuracy. So that's +3. +1 for my dexterity modifier. +4. That's a 15 to hit.
That is going to hit. Roll me some damage.
Gonna be a d8 +1 and a d4. So the initial projectile hits it for 7 points of damage.
Okay.
And then some random misfortune. I don't know, maybe it just stumbles and falls off the wall a bit. Adds another 3 bludgeoning damage.
That is exactly what you need. And it does stumble and fall off of the wall, and it falls to the ground and kind of smashes apart, but still more intact than the one that Inoltrare left exploded.
Inoltrare, it appears you gave it a shock.
That's great. I like that.
So is that your turn?
Yep, that's my turn.
Right, this thing is going to use all of its movement to crawl as far as it can. I'd say this is the last turn you have to take this thing out before it gets away from your range. So everybody make them count. Utri, do you have anything for range?
Anything for range? No, but what I do have is lay hands on.
Lay on hands. Yes.
Inoltrare, you're no longer.
Yay!
Is this a gentle touch or a smack?
A congratulatory pat on the back for doing so well.
Okay.
I'm back and I'm afraid of things again.
For Capulet, what's the difference? Inoltrare, it's your turn unless Utri wants to spend a bonus action.
No, I'm good.
Okay. You're back, your senses are back, and you see that the spider is getting a move on.
Well, it's on the wall, right? I can't allow it. Well, no, I can allow it to be on the wall. That's actually kind of helpful for me for once. I can't allow it to get away, though. So I'm going to cast Skeletal Hands, which requires them to be on a wall or next to a wall.
Ooh.
Dozens of skeletal hands reach from a wall or other vertical surface to grasp a creature within 5 feet of that surface. On a hit, the target takes 1d8 necrotic damage and is restrained.
All right, well.
Anyway, here's one dead wall.
Oh my god.
You know what? No, I'm not using the green die. I'm going to use the red die. The red die's been better for me. Let's see. Oh, that's good. That's 23 to hit.
That's definitely going to hit it.
Okay, so it takes 1d8 necrotic damage and is restrained. 7 necrotic damage and is restrained until the spell ends.
Yeah, it's restrained.
It can use a bonus action to make a strength saving throw to escape. On a failure, it will take 1d8 necrotic damage. So it's its choice where it restrains. But if it restrains, it might get damaged if it fails.
Yeah, I'm with you. It's concentration.
It is concentration, yeah. And that's everything I'll do.
All right, Fee, your turn. This thing is an easy target. It's still very high up, so you know it's not point blank, but
you do have advantage because it's restrained.
Oh, yep. I'll get my second dice out then, and I'm going to take a pot shot at it with my first attack. Draw 20.
Yes!
That is a crit, and I know that I should say I'm not even going to ask for the damage, but because you do so love to inform us, feel free.
Yep. Okay.
It's a rogue's right.
Well, I'm playing a range right now.
Yeah, sure. Sure you are.
You roll all the damage dice twice, which is something that usually I don't remember as a player, but for some reason as a DM, it's just putting in.
Yep. Okay. So, yeah, obviously I transferred my Titan's Eye, so would the Titan's Eye count as part of this attack?
You would be better off telling me.
If you roll a damage die, then you add an additional damage die to it.
Okay. It's just that the wording makes it sound like a separate attack from the initial attack, but...
Reading it, I think it does actually grant you an extra attack each turn, which is neat, but I don't know if that's right or not. It's kind of slightly vague on it. It's cool, though. Okay. Either way, to be honest.
Well, yeah, I'll just roll one d4 to be set on the safe side. But, yeah, this is a d8 damage dice, so that is 6 plus 2 plus 1. So that is 10 points of damage total.
That's exactly what you need again. And it falls from the top of the building and smashes against the ground. Well done, gang.
We did it!
So the Cervid kind of peeks out from the box that it was hiding behind, and he says, "That was amazing."
Oh, he takes off their paper Aeodun witch hat and just spins it on their finger which is, I think, something they assume AO does.
You know, Ao's classic Smash Brothers gesture.
Yeah.
Yeah, AO, well, no, I'm taking off her hat.
Yeah, and there's horns under there and everything. So the servant will go back up to you and just look at the scorch marks and stray bits of steel and the giant automaton that has ceased moving. You're really good at fighting.
Yeah, one has to be in these tough times. Who else would protect kids like you?
He tries to make their cloak below, then remembers again that they're not wearing it.
Kids like me. Oh, I'm Seth, by the way.
Pleasure to meet you.
Did you travel McFarlane?
Oh, disinspiration.
Yeah, I deserve it.
Speaking of checks, though, you've got a lot of wreckage around you.
Oh, yes.
Seth can't provide you with any answers right now, but maybe something here can.
I definitely would like to examine this, if possible using Arcana and my construct specialty, because this seems like a construct.
It does seem like a construct, and I will... what are you examining exactly? The dispenser or one of the spiders?
I think I'll go for the dispenser. I kind of want to look inside it, see if I guess what I'm looking for is kind of... I don't even know what I'm looking for here, just general information. Like, I really want to know who's been making these. I mean, I guess it's the artificer, but like
well, thankfully,
why?
it's standard practice for advanced 5th edition monsters to have some lore that you can determine by checks, and I will allow you to use an Arcana check with your construct specialty.
Nice. Let's try it. Ooh. 6 for this.
Just like 3.5 edition. And Pathfinder.
3, 22 plus 2, 24.
Oh yeah, you're definitely overqualified on this check. So first thing that you know about artificer constructs, they're rare because there isn't a lot of artificers out there. It's not a very big trade right now, but you have read up a bit in them, and what you have read a bit of is that when they make constructs, when they make mechanical creatures, they always tend to have little compartments in them, usually used to hold tools for when a problem arises with the construct itself and it might need repairs, although they can be used to hold some other things. And as you're knocking around a bit across its surface, you do find a little door to a compartment. And you can sense that this door would have been locked by the automaton itself, but because it has ceased to function, so has the lock, and you're able to slide it open. And inside, you find a potion of greater restoration.
Ooh.
Which you're able to deduce that maybe has something to do with all of this, considering that this is an emergency hatch. Like, maybe this can be useful against the Endorphos. You also find a key that looks not neatly placed at all, and like this compartment is quite small. So there isn't a lot of room for things to shake around, but this key looks like strewn and out of place. And you pick it up, and you notice that it's got a keychain. And the keychain says that this is a key for the Tinscrap steel mill.
This is a key for something called the Tinscrap steel mill.
And because you did so well on your roll, I'll also tell you that you're able to recognize some of the magic in this wiring. It's not as easy because you're not an artificer, and artificers, use magic in a very specific way, but you're able to pick up, some novel details. And when this thing was scanning, you're able to tell that it was scanning for something. It was scanning for evocation magic. And it doesn't seem to have been programmed to scan for anything else.
For some reason, it looks for evocation magic.
The sort that makes things explode.
Sometimes. Not the only thing it does.
What else does
we have
it
a
do?
real problem with evocation mages in the sewers. Always after the guano.
It can cool things down a lot too.
Make me a wisdom perception check.
This is going to go badly.
Inoltrare.
Yeah, this is going to go. Okay. 5.
I assist.
You can assist. Have advantage on that.
10.
10 is what you need. So, as you're looking through this thing's guts and you've noticed that, like, how it is programmed, you also notice its repository of vials. There is a door that leads into them, very likely used so that it can be restocked. And you kind of take one out and you just look at it for a bit. And you kind of like roll it back and forth in your fingers and swirl it around. And you think you can see like tiny, tiny little particles of something in it.
Something in this. Weird.
And that thing was scanning for evocation magic.
Try and take a close look at what these particles might be.
Sure. Roll me intelligence arcana, let's say. You can both do it.
Okay. That's good because I'm not going to do very well here.
Hey, since this is about detection, can I add a D4?
You can absolutely add that D4.
All right, that's good because I rolled badly. So,
I rolled a 5.
Fee, you're baffled.
15 for me.
Fee, you think maybe this might be flavoring? In Inoltrare, you're able to piece together. Okay, so this thing is scanning for evocation magic. But why would there be evocation magic here? And then you look at the little particles in the Endorphos juice, and you think, maybe this is how it scans. Maybe these particles have trace amounts of evocation magic tied to them, and it's only in the system for so long that this is how it determines how far away you are from your next dose.
Oh.
This thing seems to be constructed to keep people in a steady schedule of taking this drug.
You're a genius, Inoltrare. That would explain why our friend here registered as still being dosed, even though Utri cured him.
Yeah, and that is an astute observation yourself. Utri, while this is going on, do you want to look at a spider?
I do want to look at a spider.
Just quickly,
Would you like to look at it with...
I've made a discovery.
I would say you've absolutely made a discovery.
Inspiration. You can't see the eyebrow wiggling going on when I said that, by the way, but it was happening.
Question.
Okay, go on.
Would impressing Seth have ignited passions in myself and others?
I mean, it certainly ignited a passion in Seth. He's scared, but he's a bit less scared now that he knows that you're on the task. I mean, you were just kids a second ago, and in a matter of 2 rounds, you took that thing out. In a matter of 3 rounds, you took all of them out.
Yes. So would you say I get inspiration?
I'd say you get inspiration.
Yes.
Okay, while you're examining these spiders, Utri, would you like to use your engineering?
I do.
Well, unfortunately, there's no way that I can change this to be charisma or strength. But you're getting a decent enough bonus, so make an engineering intelligence check.
Intelligence. 18.
Oh, okay, that'll do it. So you find an engraving on the inside of the casing, and it seems to be the name for this invention. These are called securarachnids. And you notice that there isn't really much in terms of the wiring that you can discern about, but you do find a piece of amber. A very expensive looking piece of amber. You'd say that this is worth about 100 gold pieces. But what you notice about this piece of amber is that there is a picture of you in it, just held within the middle. It's black and white. Presumably this is what was being taken to wherever this thing was going to go.
This is kind of concerning. Are they spying on us?
You also notice that whilst the securarachnid that Inoltrare blasted is irretrievably lost, this one is intact. It's just broken. And you think maybe if you can channel some magic into it, you might be able to follow it to where it was going to go. You think that if you use a first level spell slot, you could power this thing to travel to its destination. Maybe you could follow it.
I have an idea. Wizard Kid.
I haven't. All right.
Do you think you could pump some magic into this thing?
Sure. Get ready. I roll up my sleeves like lightning bolt.
No. Just like a little bit of raw magic.
Okay, something a bit weaker. I am trying to work out what my weakest magic spell is, because my cantrips are quite powerful now.
You don't need. It doesn't need to be a spell. It can just be a spell slot.
Oh, I'm definitely not using a spell slot. I'll use a cantrip.
All right, cantrip will work.
I'm just seeing what the rules are for Sacred Flame. Actually, now I think about it, doesn't. That's right, it's a cleric spell. That's why I can't find. Okay. Yeah. Oh no, that's got to target a creature. I will use Shocking Grasp. So I'll put my hand on it and go.
Okay, you use Shocking Grasp, and the legs of this thing start to twitch, all differently from each other before it tumbles out of your hand and begins skittering out of the alleyway. It seems to not be trying to go up a wall. Maybe that's because it doesn't have the capacity anymore to be afraid.
Quickly, everyone, follow it.
Train it to be afraid.
He immediately pulls out both their swords and just holds them in a back grip and just runs with them trailing out behind them.
That doesn't seem very set. They're gone.
Yeah, okay, so I presume you both want to follow as well.
Yeah, but at a reasonable distance, because that seems dangerous.
Okay, well, you follow this thing through
also
a few twists and turns. You find yourself back at the station that you exited from when you got off the movie. And you begin walking in the direction that Gargoyle and the artificer, you presume is named Hugo, had walked off when they left you. You keep going on for a bit of a walk until eventually the houses start to get less and less, and you come across this large building with big pipes. There's smoke coming out of smokestacks. It scurries through a gate. You follow through the gate, and just as it is about halfway into the courtyard of this place, it just fizzles out.
Would this place look like some sort of mill?
Yes, it would. Oh, and by the way, if anybody wants to have picked up the other amber stone that would have been there, feel free to.
Yeah, I think Fee would have done that.
That one's got a picture of Utri in it. And he's picking up this one because this thing has been burnt out.
Yeah, okay, I'll do it.
Yeah, 100 gold pieces, not bad.
Yeah.
All right. So you come up towards the door, key in hand. You put it in. You turn it. There's a click. It opens. And I think that's where we'll leave it off today.
Ugh.
Cliffhanger.
I know this went a lot long. I was worried that this would be too short.
It's classic TTRPG though. You can never guess how long a session is going to last. It's impossible.
And to be fair,
yeah.
we did spend 30 minutes questioning the existence of all of this, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was a lengthy interrogation I didn't plan on happening.
Yeah.
That's the way it goes.
So
I do like that the guy made this entire town out of steel to make it fireproof, but dodged the question when asking whether or not the anti-rust coating was flammable.
I choose to believe it's crude oil.
I mean, there's a null zone. There's far more important things to be worried about right now.
That was the other thing Inoltrare was going to raise. Actually, is he's got this flying machine that is mostly mechanical, but still seems to run off some magic underneath it. That's not going to work in the null zone.
oh my! I just realised B would be extra good at shooting the spiders when they're on the wall because they'd have flashed back to an orange an orange tiefling really irritating them.
I was going to make that joke. Creatures that can climb are the worst, but
add that self-deprecation. But yeah, no, you guys did great on that combat. You did great this session.
You did great too. This was fantastically run.
Yeah,
It was great.
well run.
Magnificent. Really good.
Gosh, now we're going to need to figure out a time for a part 2. I didn't expect this.
Welcome to the enemy of tabletop RPGs everywhere.
Yeah.
Excellent.